everyone, welcome to Wednesday's maths lesson. So as always, I would like you to please start today's lesson by writing in the date and skill. So the date is Wednesday the 3rd of March, which is amazing. I'm not quite sure how we're already in March. And your skill, again, sorry it is a long one today. Your skill is explore written reasoning skills, multiplication and division. So pause the video and write that in now, please. Well done. Okay, your starter for today then, let's recap. Scar has 15 rocks. He wants to share them between 3 hyenas. What does he need to do? Pause the video and have a little chat. What does Scar need to do? Okay, well done. Hopefully you said he needs to divide. Of course, if we are sharing something into equal groups, it is division, isn't it? So hopefully you figured out the question you needed to answer was 15 divided by 3. So if you haven't already, can you pause the video and have a go at figuring that one out now, please? Okay, well done. So when we are dividing, we're just revising, reminding ourselves what we need to do. We use our sharing circles, don't we? So I've got my 15 counters up here, and I've got my 3 sharing circles, although they're more sort of ovals, egg-shaped today, but still going to work fine, don't worry. So as I'm sure you remember, what we then need to do is split our counters systematically into our sharing circles. So let's have a look. We've got 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good, I did have the right amount of counters. It's good to double check, isn't it? And so are all of these groups equal? Do they all have the same amount of counters in them? Yes, they do, don't they? So we're just going to count up 1 sharing circle, and we can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counters in 1 circle. Of course, you can double check by counting them as well. But so that tells us 15 divided by 3 equals 5. So each hyena would get 5 rocks. Well done if you did that. Good job. Okay, so to continue our reasoning week, we will be moving on to written reasoning today. So as I'm sure you've probably realised by now, we will be focusing on multiplication and division today. So where does the biggest number go when we divide? And where does the biggest number go when we multiply? So we briefly touched on this yesterday with addition and subtraction. So pause the video and see if you can remember the rule. Where does the biggest number go when we're dividing? And where does it go when we're multiplying? Off you go. Okay, so when we are dividing, the biggest number goes at the beginning, doesn't it? Because then we are sharing it, so it will then become a smaller number like we had with our rocks and our hyenas a minute ago. The biggest number was 15, and then we divided that into 3 groups, and the answer was smaller. And of course, when we're multiplying, we are multiplying 2 numbers together, so we're combining 2 numbers, which then means the biggest number will be at the end. It will be the answer, won't it? And so yeah, when we're multiplying, the biggest number always goes at the end. Well done if you remembered that. Okay, so we have developed our verbal reasoning skills, and from what I hear, you've all been doing a fantastic job with that, so well done. But now we need to start putting those skills that we've been practicing verbally, putting them onto paper. So talk to your talk partner. What do you think are some key rules that we need to remember when we are writing our reasoning? Pause the video and have a little think. Okay, so we need to include that word, those conjunctions, because and so. Just like we did when we were talking and verbally reasoning, we need to make sure that they also go into our sentences that we're writing, because of course we are writing full sentences. Even though it's maths, with reasoning it will always be a full sentence. We need to keep asking ourselves that question that you practiced yesterday. How do you know? How do I know that 15 take away 10 equals 5? How do I know that 15 divided by 3 equals 5? Lots of things about 5 today. So making sure that that is clear in your answer, that it's very clear. Once you read that, the reader knows exactly how I know the answer is correct. And a new one for today, you might not have thought about, but keeping it concise. So that means keeping it brief, keeping it short, because as yellow class know, I tend to waffle on sometimes, and of course we don't want you to be writing reams and reams and reams of pages and pages for each answer. It does need to be just short 1 or 2 sentences, which is why hopefully yesterday and on Monday you were practicing how you knew and then transferring that into 1 or 2 sentences. So it's the same thing when we're writing. Although you might have a wealth of ideas of how you know, we just need to make sure it's concise, detailed but short about how we know the answer is correct or not correct. Well done, guys. Okay, let's learn. So Mufasa, Zazu and Rafiki each have 10 flowers. How many do they have in total? Prove your answer. So first of all, we're just going to have a chat about it because that is always how we will start our reasoning, whether you're working on your own and you're just having a think about it, or if you've got your partner with you and you can actually talk about it. Just first of all, have a chat about the answer, see what sort of things you would say. Off you go. Okay, well done. So, I've forgotten his name. Simba. Oh my goodness. Simba says they have 30 in total. Nala says they have 30 in total because 10 add 10 add 10 equals 30. Or 3 multiplied by 10 equals 30. So they have 30 in total. Now hopefully you said something similar about 3 multiplied by 10, or you've got 3 groups of 10 equals 30 when you were talking about your answer today. Now I'd like you to have a think about which answer is better, Nala or Simba's. Which answer would you like to see? If you were me and you were marking your books, which answer would you like to see for this question and why? Pause the video, off you go. Okay, so hopefully you all said that you would prefer Nala's answer. So again, she's used because and so, those conjunctions, to really make sure it's a full sentence. I know how she knows because she's used repeated addition and multiplication there. So she's used more than one method to prove that she really has an understanding of that concept. And it is nice and short, isn't it? It's not too long. I realised once I talked about waffling on, I then carried on waffling. So I'll try not to do that again. Sorry, guys. So it is short and concise, but it's got enough information in it. Simba's here is short, but it's not really got enough information, has it? He's just telling us the answer. He's not telling us how he knows that answer is correct. So well done if you said that. Okay, so just like we've just done with Nala and Simba, your task today is to use what you have learnt this week to decide which answer to a reasoning question is better and why. So for today's task, you will have the question, just like you've had for the previous days, and underneath it you will have 2 answers. And I would like you to think about which answer is better and why that answer is better. And then once you have done that and decided which is better, the answer you've decided is not as good, you're then going to improve and write into your book. Okay, so just like we just had here, if this was our question, for example, you might say, right, Nala's is really good, Simba's is not so good. So what can I do to improve Simba's answer? And whatever you decide to do, you're going to write into your book. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So your steps to success. You need to use rucksack to solve the problem. So we talked about rucksack a lot yesterday. You can still use that with multiplication and division. Read through both answers. Decide which answer is better and why. So it's the why that will help you when you are improving the answer. Improve the other answer verbally first, and then write the improved answer into your book. There's only 5 steps. I'm not sure why there's a 6th there. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Off you go. Thank you, guys. Off you go. Okay, and finally then, your plenary for today. I would like you to have a go at writing your own word problem into your book that requires reasoning skills. And I want you to think about either multiplication or division for today and see if you can answer it verbally. So you're answering your own question. So I want you to think about what sort of answer you're expecting when you're writing that question, and then see if you can do it correctly when you are answering it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you later. Bye.